So the concept of, why do we even mention this? Okay, being humble in knowledge, not being arrogant. But deeper than that, or just another concept is serving ilm and serving the people, making yourself available, sacrificing your free time, sacrificing your comfort, your health, your own health, your physical health, sacrificing your wealth, sacrificing your life to be a servant. Do you understand what this means? To serve knowledge, to serve hadith. And this is why one of the most noble terms that a scholar of a hadith can receive when he writes books and he becomes an author is khadimul sunnah, khadimul hadith. He's not a master of hadith or this and that, but they call him a servant of hadith, servant of the sunnah. He's served the sunnah. In other words, when you write a book, when you edit a manuscript, when you do tahqiq, they say khidmah to sunnah. When you explain, when you do some type of service, it's called khidmah, it's called service. So the concept of, I'm tired, my wife, my children, or my wives, Muslim men can marry more than one wife, that's the sunnah. The concept of, I have things to do, or the people or this and the people that, and so on and so on and so forth that we hear all the time. Are you really a servant, Yaki? How humble are you? How do you look at yourself? Do you look at knowledge doing you a favor, or you doing a favor for knowledge? Which of the two? Okay, so how do you balance yourself? People come to you, they ask you for advice, they ask you to teach a class, to do khutbah, to be an imam, to be a teacher, to teach at the school. What do you do? What do you say? Do you make excuse? Where do you go? Strings attached, no strings attached. They're trying to play me. They're trying to buy me. They really don't want sunnah. They really don't want knowledge. They gather. You have to ask yourself these questions. And if you don't have a tight relationship with the law, if you're not seeking help in the law, guidance in the law, if you're not asking the law for tawfiq, then it's a big possibility that you're going to be swallowed whole by your own nafs, by your own pride, by your own arrogance, or by your own insecurities, your own inferiority complex, your own lack of confidence and lack of worth and value, or, like I said, the opposite. You may become arrogant and haughty. You may become caught up in thinking that you're something, and thinking that you're doing the people a favor, and that you're doing knowledge a favor, when it's actually the opposite. Knowledge is doing you a favor. The people are there doing you a favor. And I feel that in dawah, when you look at it like this, and you take this approach and you make this your philosophy, it's going to have magical effects, wonderful effects, things that you can never even think about when you keep a balance. I'm a humble servant, but at the same time, this knowledge that I have, it has to be respected, it has to be valued, and it has to be honored. But there are many times in which people may not value knowledge. They may not truly respect you. They may not know your worth and you're among them. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, knowledge will prevail. Knowledge will reign supreme, one way or another. So these are just a few words of reflection, okay? Just pondering, as we say, food for thought, as we always say, to just think about it. Obviously, this topic can be dealt with in a much more in-depth manner, more scholarly manner. It's just simple. We're driving, nothing much, nothing too serious, but it's a very, very dangerous concept of not too far to the right, nor too far to the left, being in the middle. And sometimes you can't be exactly in the middle. There may come a time in which you may have to tell somebody, I can't do it, or no, I'm not answering your question, because they don't have the proper etiquettes, they don't have the proper respect, they're not valuing their ilm, or something that they're not going to understand, or something that they're going to misunderstand, something that's going to cause a problem, it's going to cause confusion, it's going to cause confusion, not confusion. And there are other times in which someone may not give you the proper respect, the proper etiquettes, but you still give the knowledge. You still say it, you still do it, because you are serving ilm. There are times in which you have to look after your health, and there are other times in which you have to disregard your health. Times in which you have to do what? Disregard your health. You may be a bit hungry, you may be a bit tired, you may be exhausted, you may get sick. I'll leave you with this one thing, okay? One thing. when I was in the bachelor's program in Medina, I had a neighbor, a very close friend of mine, brother named Hanif Bashir. He was from Cleveland, Ohio. And alhamdulillah, he taught me many things, and I learned many things from him. Walillahi alhamd. And as I continue to learn and I continue to study, brother Hanif, we would always debate with each other. We would read, I would go over his house, he would come over my house, and we would talk and we would debate. We would go over things, we would deal with issues, discuss books of hadith, we would argue, we would fight, we would spar, as we say, we would wrestle with each other, we would learn from each other. So one day, we were speaking about the master's program, all right, and you know, my aspiration to go to the master's program, it was a dream that had fermented in my mind for a very long time, In my first early days of the bachelor's program, I wanted to go to the master's program. It was my dream. And he told me some stories of some brothers that he knew, some people that he came across. And he showed me some old manuscripts, etc. So Hanif, he said to me, he said, Mufti, he said it was a student in hadith in the master's program. He said that he studied so long. He sat at his desk for such a long time. He typed. He beat himself up so much writing his book, his thesis, his bath. He said that he became sick. And you know what the sickness was? He said he had a sickness in his buttocks, his behind. Something happened to him for sitting down for such a long time in one place. Something happened, a bruise, blood circulation. What's important, something happened with his behind, with his butt, okay? I'm being honest, there's no sugarcoating. This is what happened. He said that this is what happened and this is what he told him. So obviously, I was young and I believed him. He wasn't a liar, but it was something I felt was a bit far-fetched. Maybe exaggerating, Hanif, maybe just a little bit. He says, no, it's true, Mufti, trust me. I said, Tayyib. So years went by, and when I got into the master's program, alhamdulillah, nothing happened to my butt, okay? All right, I didn't get no sickness in my behind, but the point I'm trying to get to is there were times in which only Allah knows how many hours I sat at my desk in my library. Only Allah knows. There were times in which my elbows, my arms, my wrists, my hands, literally, without any exaggeration, I swear by Allah, had bruises on them. Had bruises on them, scabs on them. Just from sitting down and typing, let alone my eyes burning, falling asleep at the desk, slobbering on your book, waking up, and the computer, the laptop, or the desktop is full of slobber because you slept. You didn't sleep in your bed. All right, staying up for days at a time. Allah alam, how much caffeine we drunk, how many ginseng, raw honey, coffee, this and that. So the point is that serving ilm, the benefit of it, and looking at yourself to be worthless. You mean nothing, Yahi. You're nothing. And your entire life is knowledge. How much have you put forth from the sunnah of the Nabi? We talk about hadith renaissance, hadith revolution, serving hadith. We talk about the salaf, the way of the salaf. What have we done for their way? How have we served them? How have we served their great legacy that we have? So these are just some words that I want to remind myself of, and I want to show my brothers and sisters on Islam, all the disciples and all the disciples. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all, keep us steadfast upon the path, upon the road, until we get to bid'illah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hopefully our destination in this life and hereafter. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Thank you all for watching.